Perfect. All right, so welcome everyone. Again, thank you all for being here for this conference, our first virtual pedagogy conference ever. And I think it's going really well with some fantastic speakers today, a fantastic keynote last night, and already some ideas for a part two or a partial part two, perhaps in the future. So the virtual college fair will have about 10 minutes each for each of these schools. We'll start with the University of Michigan and then Wartburg College. If I'm pronouncing any of these incorrectly, please let me know. Followed by Syracuse Houghton College or University, Lawrence University, and Susquehanna University. And again, I'll record this and let's get started. University of Michigan, Caroline and Nicole, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. Yeah. My name is Nicole Keller. I'm chair of the organ department here at Michigan. And I'd like to introduce my colleague, Caroline Robinson, who joined us just last year. And she's been such a wonderful colleague here to have at Michigan. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the University of Michigan in general terms about the university, and then turn it over to Caroline with some specific things about our degree programs and our curriculum. So we are a public research university, and often you'll hear R1 Research University after it, which implies the amount of funded research that happens through our university is one of the highest in the nation. We've been around for quite a long time. We were founded in 1817, and we're the oldest university here in Michigan. We're quite large, actually. We have just over 53,000 students in all of our universities. So for those who are looking for a large university experience, that is certainly a wonderful thing. But the music school is really quite intimate as well. We are housed on North Campus, not on the central campus, very, very close. So you also get that close feel as well. So you don't feel like you're lost in the midst of 53,000 other students. There are 19 schools and colleges here at the university, and all of those colleges have things that are available to all of our music students. We have many music students that actually double major as music students, and perhaps engineering students or students in astronomy, sorry. I'm in one of my studios, which is very, very possible here. The music school is called the School of Music, Theater, and Dance. So we are very multidisciplinary. We include all of the orchestral instruments, including a dance department. They have their own building, including music theater, including theater. So it's really, I think, a wonderful fabric for students to be a part of. I'm going to drop here in the chat our website for those who would like to read just a little bit more general information about the music school. We have just under 1,100 students in the music school. It's a good number. And just so I'm not misreading our number of faculty, we have a really wonderful student-faculty ratio here at the music school. We have around 820 undergraduate students, around 275 graduate students. Our faculty to student ratio is 5:1, which is really fantastic. And we have about a 93% student retention. So our students are very happy here. Ann Arbor is a really wonderfully vibrant place, a really wonderful place to really experience the arts. We have a fantastic art museum here on campus. And of course, our performance halls are really quite amazing. There are always performances going on every day. If it's not orchestra, then choirs. Students have access to our University Musical Society, which is a completely separate entity that brings groups like the Berlin Philharmonic, the Philadelphia Orchestra, the Orchestre de Paris. Every month there are a few concerts that are really quite spectacular, and students can audition to be a part of that choral ensemble. Last year they sang the Brahms Requiem with the Philadelphia Orchestra, so it's really a wonderful experience for students to be a part of. So those are some sort of general things about the university and about the music school. For organs, in this studio, the main teaching studio, we have 1965 Reuter, 3-manual Reuter. And Dr. Robinson's studio, you can see behind her, there's a 2-manual Laterno that we also use. We, of course, have the 4-manual Aeolian Skinner in Hill Auditorium that we use for concerts and for teaching as well. We also have a two-manual Fisk organ in our Blanche Anderson Moore concert hall that was designed after the Silbermann instrument in Röthe, Germany, a really fantastic instrument. So our students really get a good diversity of instruments and a good diversity of experiences for their learning here. And then perhaps Caroline, would you like to talk a little bit about our degree programs and curriculum?
Sure. So we offer both performance degrees in organ and also sacred music. So students can enroll in whichever degree program fits their desired goals for their career. However, both degree programs are very well rounded in the kind of curriculum, course requirements that we require, so that, you know, even if they're in sacred music, they're taking plenty of organ lit, and everybody's doing improvisation, everybody's taking service playing classes. So all of the courses are offered as electives, even if it's not required in a particular degree program. And as Nicole mentioned, some of our students end up double majoring, and they can opt to be in the Bachelor of Musical Arts rather than the Bachelor of Music, so the BMA program. So just lots of diverse routes. Our organ lit curriculum is pretty extensive. We have the typical survey that's 2 semesters long, but we also have classes that go more in depth. So a semester just on 19th century music, a semester on French Baroque, 20th century, and we have a graded curriculum in improvisation as well. So levels 1, 2, and 3, and different skills are taught in all 3 of those classes. So students really leave with a specific body of knowledge. I think this is great for master's and doctoral students in the organ literature classes, forming a dissertation topic or lecture recital down the line. And students can really develop specific skills in improvisation through our graded curriculum. We also have some opportunities for students outside of just the typical studio class. We have a colloquium that meets after studio class every week, where we discuss pertinent topics in sacred music, professional development. We started off the year with practice techniques. So just constantly in discussion in community with our students. We also have a weekly recital series at the local Episcopal Church, which is called Division Street Pipes, and students play every single week, and it's a great opportunity for them to practice performing, and it's on a wonderful Richard Sfauk's organ that we regularly have access to and give lessons on. So it's a great way for them to engage with the community. And we also have some other offerings. I don't know if, Nicole, you want to talk about those.
Yeah. Our students often play in requested recitals at local venues. For example, the Catholic Cathedral in Detroit, we have studio recitals there every year, and some other local places as well. So more opportunities for the students to connect with the community. We also bring in guest artists. This year, we will have Alan Morrison actually is coming next month for a recital and a master class. In the February, we're having Martin Schmedding from Leipzig, Germany, who has come to spend a few days with us to give us some presentations and do a master class and a recital as well. So our students are really getting not just sort of the local the things that are available locally, but we work hard to keep them engaged in what is going on nationally in the organ world, as well as internationally as well.
I think we mention, I don't know if we mentioned harpsichord and carillon, but we have a big carillon presence here on campus, and all of our organ majors can take secondary carillon. It's a really cool part of the fabric of the University of Michigan, and we have wonderful early keyboards professor, Joseph Gasho. Students can take basso continuo and play in the Baroque ensemble. Yeah,
I should have led with, we are an interdisciplinary department, actually, which I think makes us really strong. It's the Department of Organ, but we also house carillon and harpsichord and early music. And we have quite a bit of intersection between those students, with organ students taking carillon and harpsichord, performing with the Baroque chamber ensemble, etc. So it really is a very very complete musical education for them, and they get quite a bit of exposure to a lot of different styles of repertoire, a lot of different styles of instruments here.
That's fantastic. Thank you. I just want to leave the next 75 seconds or so open for questions, if anyone has any questions for Professor Keller or Professor Robinson.
I was going to put in the chat our course guides. So the one I'm sending now is our organ literature course guide. here. And then I'll also send the sacred music course guide.
I have a question that maybe we can all talk about at the end, but you've inherited, a monumental program, one of the most important ones in North America, and just how you handle that responsibility of carrying such a storied department forward. But maybe we'll have some time at the end for that, because there's some other folks who can chime in
We can
here
talk
as well.
about that, yeah. Mhm.
All right, next we have, and I'm sorry if I don't know who the contact person here is, but Wartburg College. Do we have someone here from Wartburg College? Wartburg College. Let me just see. We will see if anyone from Wartburg, maybe they'll join us in a little bit. If not, Annie, would you mind skipping ahead a block and speaking with us about Syracuse? I think you're on mute there.
I'd be happy to do that.
Great.
So just so I know, there are folks in the room that we can't see, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, welcome everybody. I am Annie Laver. I am the university organist and organ professor at Syracuse University in upstate New York. And I have a little video to share of some of our students speaking about the program and a few slides, and then be happy to answer any questions folks have. So I'm gonna attempt to share my screen. And we'll start with a 2-minute video. Can we see that?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Turn this up. Oh, I don't hear any sound there.
I have to share the audio.
Yeah, I thought I did. Hang on, let me try this one more time. And I may need to just get the audio right. See if this works. Well, that is disappointing.
You click the little up arrow, or on the share.
There it is. Did you hear it now? I think I just got it.
Oh, that was, yeah, just had it.
Being at Setnor, I am just surrounded by very fabulous musicians, professionals, each and every day. It's very motivating. I also have the opportunity each week to study organ privately with Dr. Laver, who is a fierce organist and a fabulous teacher who just knows how to polish and strengthen all of her students.
Some of the opportunities I've had here have been a paid research assistantship with Dr. Laver. And then there are so many ensembles that you can be a part of. Setnor really encourages musical diversity. So you can be in the marching band, you can be in any of the choirs, you can be in orchestra or wind ensemble. There's endless opportunities.
I just arrived from Ghana. One of the highlights of me being here is that I happen to be the very first organ scholar attached to Hendricks Chapel, and that has given me the opportunity to work with choirs here on campus, especially Hendricks Chapel Choir.
It's a really powerful instrument. It fills up the auditorium, not just the auditorium, but the entire building. And when I'm playing for convocation, the students come alive. They love to hear and see the instrument in action.
I love teaching here because there is a wonderful sense of community in the music school. The students look out for each other, they participate in each other's projects, and they just spur each other on. And it's just a wonderful, close-knit community. Having said that, even in that community, the students get to have all the benefits of a major research university. So right across the quad, they can go see a football game, they can participate in major lecture series, internships, and support for travel and research. It's the whole package.
All right, that's our web address, bpa.syr.edu. And now I'm just going to move into my PowerPoint. Okay, so we're talking about organ study at Syracuse University. And I'd like to show that video because it was through the students' own words, how they feel about the program. And it's an absolute joy to teach at this university. I love the fact that there is a really good community feel within the music school among music majors, but all kinds of opportunities to make use of a larger research university. And you don't have to take a bus anywhere. You can just walk across the campus to get to a different faculty or a different college or school. So that's one of the great benefits of our university. Syracuse has about 22,000 students. 15,000 of them are undergrads. And we are housed in the College of Visual and Performing Arts. We have 3 undergraduate programs currently. We have a Bachelor of Music and Music Education. That's our largest cohort of students, really strong music education program that has excellent placement. And so much of what the music education curriculum offers overlaps to sacred music. So conducting, leading youth programs, teaching music, all of that interacts with sacred music. So that's a degree that we think has a lot of potential actually for organ majors. All of these majors I'm going to talk about, you have a primary instrument and you take lessons on that primary instrument. So even if you're in music education, you can be an organ major. Same thing with music industry. This is a degree designed for 21st century musicians who want to know about how to build their brand. They want to know about sound recording. They want to know about copyright issues, about how to build a website. So I've had organ majors in music industry as well, and I think there's really room for a ton of potential there. Our Bachelor of Science is designed for students who want to double major. They want students who want to study abroad and have flexibility in their schedule, but still are interested in getting a music degree as at least one of their degrees. And then we do also have graduate degrees in performance and conducting. And I am looking for another organ scholar in Hendricks Chapel. So that's somebody who gets an assistantship to accompany the choir and work with concert operations, tours, and other things like that. I think that in the video, this idea of a close-knit community really comes across. The students definitely look out for each other. There's a ton of opportunity to cross over to other types of music, even if your major program is centered around the organ and classical music. This is a picture of Abby Wood. She played in the marching band. She sang in all the played in the orchestra. She was in other peers' music videos. I mean, there's a lot of overlap in terms of opportunities and musical genres. And it's rather than being frowned upon, that is really lifted up as one of our strengths. So we have a small program. I have 5 students now, and my colleague Yvonne Bosner has another 4, and this is about where we're at the moment. maxing out between 8 and 10 students taking lessons. So you get a lot of attention if you come to Syracuse. You get really specialized mentoring and somebody who's always looking out for you and trying to look for other opportunities for you to excel, whether that be performing on campus or off campus or in a variety of church job situations in our area. I think the other thing that is really special about the Syracuse University experience is that there are all kinds of pots of money and institutional support for projects around research, around creative work, and travel to interesting organs in our case. I was able to hire a number of my students to work on a research project around documenting the music played at various American expositions in the early 1900s and late 1800s. And I've hired students right now to work on a documentary film with me around the organ in America. So we had one of our first film shoots of October today. I was doing that for the last 8 hours, and they get real hands-on work in the field, sharing and being ambassadors for the organ. We're a private institution, so our sticker price is high, but students that are looking at us should know that there are very generous discounts for tuition and music scholarships.
Henny, we have about 1 minute here.
Okay, then I should stop talking. Our students have been very successful. You'll see here many winners of competitions and 100% placement in programs, prestigious programs, or full-time work in music. And we have a lot of great instruments, including a new one that is coming and going to be installed in a brand new Catholic center in January. So it's very exciting for us at this time. I'd be happy to entertain any questions, or students can email me. That's a great way to get in touch with me, or visit our website.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Professor Laver. Any questions at all? I know I enjoyed my time. I think Syracuse is the only campus I've been to in this room, and I enjoyed my time at the conference you hosted maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, you were as a featured presenter.
It was a wonderful conference. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any questions at all?
Carrie, hi, Brody.
Did Karen Black come to the room yet? Okay, we might skip Wartburg College. Moving on, Judy Congdon from, is it Houghton or Houghton? Judy, you're on mute, sorry. If you just click that audio button at the, there we go.
There. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, how do you pronounce the school? I'm sorry.
It's Houghton.
Houghton, I had it wrong. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Welcome,
And
welcome.
thank you. And one of my colleagues, Kevin Dibble, I think is here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, good. Good. And I think Kevin's going to start our presentation.
Yeah. So my name's Kevin Dibble. I'm one of our music administrators here at Houghton University, and I work pretty heavily in the recruitment side of things. So that's why I've been asked to speak a little bit about just study at Houghton and the Great Batch School of Music. So if I hit share, let's see if this works. I'm as technology savvy as possible here. Share.
See there's green share.
Yes, it's there, telling me I have to put in my password here.
Yeah.
Is that working?
Not yet, no.
Um,
There we go. Yep, now
Oh,
it's
okay.
perfect.
Excellent. Okay. So, yes, as Judy and I have mentioned, we're here at Houghton University. So Houghton is a distinctly Christ-centered institution. We are a Christian school, private liberal arts education. We are NASM accredited. We do offer undergraduate and graduate degrees within a large and small, or within a small institution. We have 6 undergraduate degrees. Students can major in composition, music education, music industry, which is a combination. It's sort of a 3-pronged program where students have a primary instrument, which can be any instrument that they choose, but then they also do music business and technology alongside of the performance to create a 21st century well-rounded musician. Students can major in performance or worship arts, which is encompassing contemporary and traditional worship styles. But we also have a Bachelor of Arts in Music, and then music with outside elective studies, which is a program that's designed for students to be able to use their liberal arts requirements toward another degree and basically double major pretty simply. On the graduate side of things, we have a Master of Arts in Music. We have a Master of Music in Collaborative Piano, Masters of Music in Composition, Conducting, and Performance, again, on the whole gamut of instruments. We do offer generous music scholarships for undergraduates and graduate students. Houghton is intentionally operating at a low price point. When Houghton was founded, they wanted to make sure that Houghton was affordable to, we're here in Allegheny County, New York, which is one of the poorest counties in the country. And so we intentionally have a price point that allows accessibility for students, regardless of socioeconomic backgrounds. And then, of course, our students, regardless of major, have opportunities for performance in solo, the solo world, and in ensembles. That certainly includes our organ students, whether they're playing with an orchestra or one of our choirs or doing solo work. We do have a really state-of-the-art facility that we are very excited about. Wilson Greatbed, the inventor of the implantable pacemaker, endowed our program many years ago, and he didn't pay for the building, but we did a capital fund campaign to raise the money to build this new building, and it's a wonderful facility. Here you see the chapel performance hall, and then the outside of our Center for the Arts. I want to move quickly so that we can get to the organ stuff. This is just an aerial view of our campus. We are a small school. We are a very residential campus. Most of our undergraduates and graduate students live right here on campus. You can see really that's the majority of our campus outside of some of our residence spaces and some of our athletic facilities. We're a very tight-knit, community-based campus. And I'll let Dr. Congdon here share about the organs. And Dr. Congdon, do you want to share your screen?
Yes. Let's see if I can.
Just the wrong window.
It says your screen sharing, but
you can choose which window on your screen you want to share. So far, Nicole or Caroline, does Michigan have a Holt Camp organ on campus?
Nicole, I think you're muted.
You do? You have a Holt Camp?
I do not believe we do, but Nicole is muted, and I'm not sure if she answered.
You don't? Okay. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe we're the breakout room of Holt Camp organs on this.
Do you see my
Okay.
screen now?
Yeah, we see it now, Judy. Thank you.
Okay, great. So we have 6 instruments on campus or right across the street from campus. The largest is our Holt Camp organ, 61 ranks. Installed in 1962, designed by Walter Holt Camp Sr., And there's a good view of it. And here is a picture of my studio a year ago, just after a studio recital, standing in front of the pedal division. About half of these are majors, and about half of them either minors or taking it as elective studies. The very tall young man in the back was a physics major. And then we also have our newest instrument, built by James Lauder, who for many years worked with Helmut Wolf. This is James Lauder's Opus 8 from 2008. And the church across the street is Houghton Wesleyan Church. That's the denomination which our school is a part of. And when this instrument was installed, it was both entities, the college and the church, raised funds for it. And it's co-owned. There's a long agreement between us, co-owned by church and college. And we have extensive use of it for lessons and practice and recitals. So we have two really fine recital instruments. This is a 29 stop instrument, and there's what it looks like at Christmas time. And I took this picture just because this is what was happening this fall. This is just a little 4-rank practice organ, but it's in a basement room where I hold sometimes organ literature class, and that's 3/4 of my organ lit class this fall. And this is just what Houghton looks like. I mean, I know there's pretty sunsets every place, but I was talking to my students this afternoon. I'll back up a second. And I said, what should I tell people about Houghton? What's unique about this place? And one of them said, well, there's so many just walking trails. Just, you don't even have to leave campus, and you can take a practice break, as of course at this conference we've been encouraged to do. So there's one of the trails through the woods. Another student mentioned that Houghton is a peaceful place. It's quiet, it's safe. I'm aware of parents who send their kids here because they feel like it's sort of a safe, first place to send them away from home. There are some things that we don't have. We're not in the middle of a city, but Rochester and Buffalo are each about a 90-minute drive away. And sometimes we take organ trips to things at Eastman or things in Buffalo. And there are students who just take it upon themselves to get groups of them together to go to concerts in those places. So though we don't have, we're not right in the middle of a city, we have some of the advantages of city schools.
Judy, we have about 1 minute left here.
Okay, then we should stop sharing and see if anybody has questions.
Anyone have any questions for either Judy or Kevin from Houghton College? Yeah. Judy, how long have you been teaching there?
This is my 34th year.
Wow. That's
long time.
That's fantastic. Are you also director of music at a church nearby?
Yes, actually, the church right across the street.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't always been, but I'm choir director and organist there presently. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions at all? If not, we will move on to Daniel from Lawrence University. Did I get that right?
Correct. Let me get my video started.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hello. Now let's see if I can share my let's see. Hold, please.
Is there a whole camp at Lawrence University?
We do not.
You have a Brumbau, right?
You have a Brumbau, yeah.
I
Let's
interviewed
see.
John for my dissertation, and a 2-hour interview turned into 2.5 days. Quite the talker.
I can tell you a story about that. I am not having success here with sharing my screen or sharing my. I pressed the share button and I do not to share my Chrome. Oh, there it is. Okay. I need to allow. Okay. Okay. Is this working now? No.
I don't see anything.
Okay, hold on one second. Meanwhile, I can tell the story about John Brumbaugh. There we go.
There we go.
You able to see that?
Yep.
Great. Oh, huzzah. Hi, I'm Daniel Schwant, University organist and lecturer of music at Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin. I was born and raised in Appleton, and I started teaching at Lawrence about 6 years ago now. Started teaching online, Zoom, and but I remember I was in high school when John installed the big new organ at Lawrence, and he took 9 months to install the organ for exactly, I think, the reason that you discovered, that he liked to chat a lot. He would voice a couple pipes each day. And that was about it. He seemed to be in no hurry to be leaving. So it's one of those things. Lawrence is one of the many small Midwest liberal arts colleges that at one point had a very large organ program, like many organ schools, and has a long noble history of a commitment to the study of organ. The conservatory in Appleton, writ large, is a diverse assemblage of wonderful musicians and attract students that go on to do great things all over the world. We're primarily known, I think we're probably most exceptionally known right now for our jazz work, and percussion is a particular strong suit. As I said, I've been teaching organ there since 2020. And a few facts about Lawrence. This is our campus, located in the heart of downtown Appleton. Appleton is about an hour-and-a-half drive north of Milwaukee, 3 hours north of Chicago, and about 4.5 hours from St. Paul, Minneapolis. Again, we're a small private liberal arts school of about 1,500 students. We get students from all over the world and all over the U.S., primarily from Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota, but our students come from all over. We're unique amongst several of these Midwest colleges in that we have a separate College of Liberal Arts and a separate Conservatory of Music. So it's the conservatory functions in, with, and under, as it were, of the rest of the school, which really kind of keeps everything in a good, healthy tension that the music angle of things has a degree of autonomy. We're proud of our pretty low student to faculty ratio of 8:1. And Appleton, I just looked up, rated one of the 4th best cities to live in the U.S. And you don't even have to be a fan of Green Bay. You can even. Our conservatory, the conservatory is, you can see the buildings there. This is our main conservatory wing, the Music Drama Center, and the connecting building between the Music Drama Center and the chapel is the picture on the bottom with this glass atrium. Our primary performance space is the chapel, on which the 1994 Brumbaugh organ is on stage, and we often do works here with orchestra and choir. Our school term or our school year system is slightly unusual. It's kind of old school in that we don't have 2 semesters of about 15 weeks, but rather 3 10-week trimesters, which allows us to do different things. So our term in the fall is rather brief. We start in September and end towards the end of November, and we have option of doing a December unit of study, and then we resume earlier for the winter term in January, and then go into the beginning of June for our late spring term. So it's somewhat more unusual than what most schools are doing. We have 4 different degree paths at the conservatory: the traditional BMUs with a performance degree, a more flexible major, the BA, which, as it says, allows a broader liberal arts focus. We have a new Bachelor of Musical Arts, which is the brainchild of our most recent dean, who was a marvelous colleague and a supporter of all things. He really encouraged everybody to think bigger and outside the box and enable students and musicians of every stripe to experience music at whatever level they are. So it's not only for those who are performing and playing and studying at a high level, but for those who want to encounter music in new and different ways. So we have this BMA with track in jazz and contemporary improvisation. And the name of the game here is collaboration with many of the other departments on campus. There we go. And then this happens quite often. We'll have a number of students, because of the structure of our trimester system, will go on and do a 5th year and do a double degree, both in the College of Liberal Arts and in the Con. Our instruments, there we go. We have 5 instruments on campus. As I said, the large 3-manual Brumbau. In the back of the chapel is a marvelous historic instrument by A.B. Elgemacher. It actually turns out I realize it's the largest, or it's the oldest intact original instrument in the Northeast Wisconsin area. I think 1906 is not that old in comparison to many other instruments on the East Coast, but for us, it is a marvelous and sweet instrument, which is really ideal for doing music of the late 1800s and early 20th century. Our main practice organ is a 1985 Ruggles organ, and we have a local builder, Jim Taylor, built us a small 1-manual instrument that sits in the historic keyboard room, in which, and I didn't list this on here, but we also have 4 marvelous harpsichords and a clavichord. And 2 of my new colleagues in the string area are a particular interest in early music, and so historic performance practice is becoming more and more of a thing at Lawrence these days, with great opportunity for collaboration. And we're getting a new trunk organ by our local organ builders. Wall Organ Builders is coming next year.
Daniel, we have about a minute left here.
Okay. These are our instruments: Brumbau, and in front, Elgemacher and back. Ruggles. A number of area instruments of different styles are available. Ample employment opportunities in area churches, and scholarships are generous. There is a community fund that funds a major scholarship for anybody who is pursuing organ. This is our visit to the Wall Organ Shop, which is right around the corner. So my happy students last winter as they're building. There's also internship available for students who are interested in building organs and maintenance with our friends at Wall. And another picture of our spaces. And we have a campus in Door County as well. I am lobbying to get an organ up there so I can teach up in Door County. But there are marvelous weekend events and seminars that Lawrence holds at their retreat campus up north. And that's what someday I will get an organ there. Any questions about Lawrence?
Great, thank you so much. Did you say, was it religiously affiliated or?
No, it
Okay.
is not. Yeah. I think it began life in 1847 as a Methodist school,
Okay.
but it is not affiliated.
Yeah, fantastic. I've never been there, but this satellite campus looks amazing.
Yes, yes. Must put organ here.
Yeah, I work at Georgetown, we're in the DC, but one of our sister schools in Chicago, Loyola, you exit the chapel and you're just Lake
Oh,
Michigan is right there. It's so beautiful.
Loyola, yeah, that the exit of that chapel, yeah.
So many campuses that I'm envious of here. Any questions
Yeah.
for Daniel here in Lawrence University? That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Let's go on to our last presenter. I don't think we had anyone from Wartburg show up. I apologize for that. But Sarah and or Marcos from Susquehanna. Did I say that correctly? I'm so sorry if I did not.
That's okay. It's Susquehanna.
Susquehanna. Thank you.
All right. I am, much like everyone else, having momentary issues sharing my screen with you all. But if you can hear me, that is the most important piece of it. So welcome. Hello to everybody. Good evening from us in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. My name's Sarah Adams. I'm the manager of music admission for the institution, and my colleague Marcos Krieger is here as well. I will just do a very quick introduction about Susquehanna University, and I'm going to try one more time to get this shared with you. And you can just give me a thumbs up if you happen to see my shared screen.
I think we do. Yep.
Yep. Okay, great. So Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania is located in the central part of Pennsylvania. We are about an hour north of the state capital, Harrisburg, and less than a 3-hour drive from New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. Susquehanna is a private national liberal arts institution founded in 1858. And I shared some information below about our current rankings. And we've breached the top 100 in the U.S. News and World Reports this year, which was a real point of distinction for the institution. But we have about 2,200 undergraduate students, and 100% of our courses are taught by faculty members, 95% of whom have their terminal degrees in their field. Another point of distinction in my mind is the percentage of students who have a study away experience and during their undergraduate career at Susquehanna, which is 97% of our students. And it looks really great to say 5.6 million miles have been traveled by our students and faculty who are participating in those global opportunities and intercultural experiences. I have a couple of campus beauty photos because as this time of year, as you can imagine, fall approaching, things are at their peak beauty on campus. We're about a 320-acre campus, and that includes our solar array, our freshwater research institute, and these are some points of distinction that I think are exciting outside the realm of the music department. Our majors and minors are here on the screen. And Marcus, if you'd like to jump in here, I'd appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Marcus Krieger, and I am a professor of music here in our School of the Arts, which also combines music, theater, and graphic arts. So we are a school of 3 departments, and for the size of our institution, our music department is quite large. We also have great participation from students who are not music majors but are in our ensembles, as most of your schools also do. We offer then only undergraduate degrees in music, but as you can see, we have a variety of possibilities. And I believe, Sarah, that we don't have here yet our newly formed bachelors of music in music technology, right? Which we are starting this year as an outgrow of our music technology minor. Our organ students then can choose any of these degrees. The majority of them are music education, similar to other institutions. However, here we also offer a minor in church music, and many of the music education students choose to complete that minor in church music, which places them in a better position for applying for jobs when they live here, and they can combine a teaching job and a church music job. But we have students in performance degrees in organ and also in composition. We have 3 instruments on campus, and very close to our campus, we have these are our instruments. We also have a Ruggles, we have a Dobson, a very early Dobson, and we have a Moeller in our chapel. 2 Moeller sons, two children of the Moeller families went to Susquehanna and left several Moellers in the area. But students have also the opportunity of using the organs at Sharon Lutheran Church, which is in walking distance from our campus, and at All Saints Episcopal Church in Selinsgrove, which also is in walking distance. We are also in close proximity to Williamsport, and indeed our AGO chapter is in Williamsport, and the students then can there have access to Austin organs, the Skinner organ at the Episcopal Church. So they have a variety of instruments at their disposal. I am an early music specialist. Some of you might know my name from correspondence from the Historical Keyboard Society of North America, which I am the general secretary. And because of my specialty, we also offer harpsichord and basso continuo, and several students take advantage of those opportunities. We have 5 harpsichords on campus and 2 clavichords. So for a small school, we have plenty of instruments available. Unlike Daniel, who is from the place where he teaches, as you can tell by my accent, I'm not from Selinsgrove. I was born and grew up in the Amazon jungle, where my parents are missionaries to a native tribe, and then went to Germany because I am a citizen of Germany, and then to Holland and Italy for studies, which is where I acquired my early music specialty and knowledge. And through those connections, I also take students then to several trips in Europe. Some of those global opportunity programs that we create for our students, I take them to Italy and Austria. This past year, I was on a full year sabbatical in Italy, researching basso continuo practice at San Petronio Basilica in Bologna. I was also a student of Professor Tagliavini, so I still keep that connection alive. And this comes back here to our corner of Pennsylvania as not only one of the only Lutheran institutions or institutions connected to the Lutheran Church that still offers degrees in organ, but also with this focus on early music and basso continuo and harpsichord, but also giving them the opportunity to have classes on church music topics. Our church music minor is not only performance-based. They all have to take 4 full courses on different aspects of church music and the history of music in the church and practices and different denominations. Our students are not all Lutherans. We have a mix between Catholics. A lot of New Jersey students come here. So we have a lot of Catholic students and Episcopalian students. And we have had in the church music minor all these 3 denominations represented. And we are able to place them for internships in the area, in those churches where they feel most at home, right? And it's their own tradition. So we have usually between 8 and 10 students taking organ lessons. Again, for a small institution like ours, that's a large number. But our students then get the opportunity to play with different ensembles. They accompany the different choirs. They can play with the orchestra. They play for Candlelight, which is this big event every year. They have the opportunity to play in chapel on Sundays, because I am also the music director for our chapel services. So as part of their church music experience, they do some assignments in chapel where I can then help and at the same time guide and supervise their development. Am I forgetting anything else, Sarah, that we should say here? We also offer a lot of scholarships, even though we are not, our tuition is certainly more expensive than the schools in the state program. But we offer a lot of scholarships, especially for music students. We have a lot of different funds that can be used to help them to be here. And we get a lot of first-generation college students, perhaps because of our location, but also this connection with the Lutheran Church especially. And this is a wonderful opportunity for them to discover all that there is to be done in music. Some of them will go then for graduate studies after their time here. And I think that equally our students, some of them go directly into the workforce and others go to graduate studies. So we have kind of a equal split of outcomes that way.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Marcos and Sarah. We just have about a minute left. We'll just have some closing remarks, but any questions at all for Marcos or Sarah? I think the state of New Jersey's main export is college students. I don't know if our other schools feel the same way, but Georgetown is about 95%.
Well, I think it's almost like what Judy mentioned, that our campus is such a safe space, and some parents feel like this is a good place for them to be away from home, but still very protected that way. And we are a fully residential college.
Fantastic. That's great. Yeah. I have a general question for all schools. So if typically, if I apply for a Bachelor of Music in Oregon, I have to get into the university, but then also have an audition that I have to pass to get into the music school. But if I just want to apply as a BA degree, BA in music, is there also an audition? Maybe all of our presenters could chime in here.
Sorry, go ahead, Nicole.
No, sorry. We do require an audition for all music majors.
Okay.
We have a new system at Syracuse right now where we're offering an option to apply without an audition, but you'd still do an interview.
At Houghton, we don't require an audition for a BA application.
We do require auditions for all the degrees. Our perspective is that the students will share the same courses for a long time. So the outcomes will be different, but they need to be in a place where they find comfort in the same theory course of a student that's doing a performance degree. And so that's why we require the audition for all the degrees.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We had a great assortment of schools, and I think all of these campuses are equally gorgeous. So no one can go wrong with any of these campuses that we heard from today. I wish we had more time because I wanted to get into that talk about, the past of our different departments and whatnot. But for another day, perhaps, and how we respect the past, but also move on into the future. But thank you all very much, and look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of this virtual conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Russ.
Hello. I'd like to welcome you to this session, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about Wartburg College. Wartburg College is a college of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, located in Waverly, Iowa, which is in the northeast part of Iowa. We are in a small community, but kind of close to some bigger communities. We are about 15 minutes from Waterloo Cedar Falls, which is about 100,000, 3 hours to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then about 4 to 5 hours from Chicago, St. Louis, and Kansas City. The name Wartburg might sound like a funny name, but we are named after the Wartburg Castle, which is a castle outside the city of Eisenach in Germany. Eisenach is the town where Johann Sebastian Bach was born and baptized in St. George's Church in Eisenach. And the Wartburg Castle was where Martin Luther stayed for a while and translated the Old Testament into German. So we have a lot of connections with Germany and with the city of Eisenach, with St. George's Church and the Wartburg Castle. Our ensembles, when they tour Europe and tour Germany, always perform at the castle and also sing at or play at St. George's Church in Eisenach. The college is about 1,400 students, and we have about 110 music majors. I'm Karen Black. I teach organ. I am the cantor for the worshiping community, which means I help to plan and play for the chapel services. I also teach some other courses in the music department. I conduct one of the choirs and the handbell choir as well. My main instrument is organ, of course. Some of our degree programs are, we have Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Music Education, and Bachelor of Music Therapy. So with a Bachelor of Arts degree, you can do two concentrations. One would just be a general BA in music, and the other is with a church music concentration. So with the church music concentration, you take the full music core, you do lessons, you do junior and senior recitals, but you also take courses in church music, a couple of religion courses, and then do an internship in a church music setting. Students have done internships. You can go really anywhere you want. We've done them in Denver, the Twin Cities, other places, depending on your interests. Even had somebody do one in Germany one time. Our calendar at Wartburg follows what we call a 4-4-1 calendar. So we have a fall term, we have a winter term, which runs January till mid-late April, and then we have a May term, which is a about 4-week course where students just take one course. So that can be a good time to do an internship if you're not doing it locally. And it's also the time when every year one of the music ensembles tours abroad for that whole time. So it's really a good calendar to do those kinds of things. We also have the Bachelor of Music and Performance, and of course, organ is one of the options for a major in that degree program. You can major in any instrument. I should say with the church music degree, that is primarily organ, but you can have another instrument as a major as well. We also have music education degree and music therapy degrees, both a music Bachelor of Music and Music Therapy, and then you can actually combine those and get both music education and music therapy. And I have had students do those degree and choose as their major instrument organ. So that's certainly a possibility depending on your interests for a career. A little bit about the organs at campus. On campus, we have 6 organs available for student use. The primary teaching and recital instrument is, at least since it has been since 1996, the Lynn Dobson organ in the Wartburg Chapel. The chapel was built in 1994. The college has been around since 1852, in Waverly permanently, only since the 1930s. But before that, worship was in Newman Auditorium, which I'll show you a picture in just a minute. But this was built in, we didn't have a freestanding chapel until 1994. The organ was designed together with the building, so you can see how it really integrates well into including in color, into the chapel architecture. The architect visited places where our founders came from in Germany, and that's the design of the chapel, is meant to imitate that German style, and it has twin spires that you can't see here that are typical of that style as well. The acoustics are really fabulous and ideal for organ music. It's a very live room and a great place to play. And recitalists have always remark on the really wonderful instrument and acoustics of the room. Ideal for organ and also choral music. The choirs perform their concerts here as well. The pulpit and the altar are movable, and so they set up risers in the chancel and perform here. The room seats about 400 when it is completely full. I thought I'd just show you some of the people involved. These are organ students after a seminar one day, and during our Christmas program, we have fun days. We have twin days, so one of my organ students and I decided to be organ twins that day. The other large organ on campus is in our Newman Auditorium, which is a concert hall that's been around for longer than the chapel. Seats about 1,300 people. And it's got a very nice 3-manual Schlicker, 55 ranks. So this is used in our annual Christmas with Wartburg performance, as you see. This is also where the symphony performs. And so I have done... last April, I played an interstellar suite with them, so I will often perform things with the symphony or other ensembles. So we use this organ for many different reasons. It's also available for students for recitals if they want, or certainly practice. But it is integral in our Christmas with Wartburg program, which I'll talk about too in a few minutes. There are also 4 other instruments on campus. One is in Orchestra Hall, which is our smaller recital hall where other students will perform their student recitals. It's available for practice as well. And then we have 3 organs in practice rooms, a 2-manual Schlicker and another Reuter, and then just a 1-manual mechanical action Zimmer. Some additional opportunities. I should mention for our chapel services, we are very ecumenical. Even though we are a church of the ELCA, we are open to any or no faith at all. So we have chapel services are not required, but they are an opportunity for organists to play preludes, postludes, to play the whole service, and they frequently do so. But services are held when there are no classes in session 3 times a week for just 20 minutes. We sing a couple of hymns and prelude and postlude and have a lot of different types of services. Often students are the speakers or guest speakers or the campus chaplain. In addition to the opportunities for organ at chapel, There are lots of other ensembles that organists are involved either as members because they're also interested in choir or band or orchestra, but also as accompanists. So, for instance, one of the organists is the accompanist for our main a cappella vocal choir. I'd encourage you to check out our ensembles. Dr. Lee Nelson is the conductor of the Wartburg Choir, and they're just really phenomenal. So check them out on YouTube. And as I said, they tour. All of our touring ensembles go international once every 3 years, and the others and they perform in country the other years. And we have many other ensembles as well to be involved with. Check us out on YouTube. Christmas with Wartburg is also a highlight of the year where we involve so many student musicians as well as the organ. So also you can find clips from that on YouTube, and I encourage you to check us out. Thanks so much. I'm available for any questions. My contact information is on the information that you have as part of this conference. So thank you for letting me share, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.